Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Josh Scorcher again. Today, well, we got a brand new one. It's top 10 brawler bosses. Basically, you just gotta put up your dukes, because it's gonna be a brawl to the end. So, brawler ones. There are a couple, but honestly, can't really think of any. Other than some fighting game bosses, but too easy there. So, let's see who ranks and see if we actually recognize it. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Here we go.
For all the different boss power sets we've covered, none are more simple, yet effective, than the Brawler. With nothing but their limbs, they're able to keep you on your toes. And sometimes knock your lights out with their toes. Ideally, the fight should have both the player and the boss as brawlers. That way it feels more even. And to keep this list from being too redundant, we're gonna try to keep the amount of fighting game bosses to a minimum.
Good call.
So when are you gonna keep the RPG bosses to a minimum?
That's...
Yeah, good luck with that. Here we go. Go. Remember, this only. Or just no weapons in
Does
general.
modern God of War count as an RPG? I think it's a gray area. I've been playing
true.
through Ragnarok,
More of a straightforward
I think
thing.
I'm overall happy with how the series has evolved, from the old Greek mythology roots to the, well, old Norse mythology roots. Wonder if they're going to do Japanese mythology next. Or dare I say, Zoroastrianism. So, when you're coming up with the main bad guy of your first Norse game, you need a big bad god. It's too soon for heavy hitters like Odin or Thor. Guess they're doing something different with Loki. How about another Odin son? Maybe Baldur? No, not that one. But wait, isn't he the god of light and considered the favorite child of all the gods? Nah, let's make him a jerk and spend his whole time trying to catch Kratos and Atreus. This is God of War. All gods need to be evil.
With your
sounds about right.
Child dead, nothing.
Throughout God of War 4, yes, it's 4, Baldur acts as a recurring threat as he tracks the father and son duo who are trying to find the way to Jotunheim, realm of the giants. He is both the game's first and final boss, as the series is known for making the first boss the best in most cases. Baldur is a skilled fist fighter capable of dashing around the field and hitting you with strong blows that even Kratos can't fully block. He can enhance his strikes by imbuing them with ice and later fire, making him a pretty capable cryomancer too. The fight at the beginning of the game is pretty tough, but it's all for naught as Baldur can't be killed normally. It isn't until the final fight where he's struck with mistletoe that he can finally be harmed. In addition to dealing with Baldur's barrage of attacks, you also have to deal with Freya's interruptions as she tries to stop you from hurting him. Whether it's Freya summoning a giant, you countering with freaking Jormungandr, or just punching the ever-loving crap out of Baldur, it's a really fun fight. It does have minus points for not having anything super creative in the brawler side of things, and Baldur himself isn't a sole brawler, but doesn't detract from how cool of a fight this is.
You want to hear something funny?
See ya. It's just Virgil. Number 9?
Live Alive has nearly
I think I remember this one.
boss fight you could think of. Ranged, avian, prehistoric, really creepy monsters. But when looking for brawler bosses, you know we've got to look at the Imperial China chapter. The last time we talked about this was in Top 10 Mentors when we discussed the Earthen Heart Shifu. Let's go over the main villain. Odiwan Lee is one of the most dangerous variations of Odio, since he'll actually go after your main party members and kill them off. Save the one you trained the most. The entire premise of the Imperial China chapter revolves around Kung Fu fighting! And utilizing it to become stronger for the sake of protecting others. But Odiwan Lee is the antithesis to this, mastering Kung Fu fighting simply as a symbol of pride. As the final boss of the chapter, he's pretty strong. It's also the moment where you get to use the Shifu's signature move, Heaven's Peak Descent, which he passed down to your chosen student. In the original version, it's a massive lifesaver if you use it at the right time. Giant as he may be, when you're fighting him, your Shifu sees...
He's laid down. Set.
By this weakling. This cannot be.
Too bad. Bomb.
You are so easy.
Hi, critic.
I don't have to try hard with you at all.
So yeah, Odiwan
Phrasing?
Lee's fight may be standard RPG fare, but one of the best parts of it is getting to utilize the strongest move taught by the Shifu to your chosen student. It's also nice to see more games utilize martial arts for a melee boss. Can't think of a better way to avenge your comrades by using all the skills your master taught you to take this form of Odio down. With Kung Fu Fighting!
Ow! Just... I'm good. Gonna check. Number 8!
How about a kiss from your brother? Or better
Joe
yet,
Virgil?
how about a kiss from this?
Nice to have a supportive family, isn't it?
Virgil and Dante, the pinnacle of brotherly love. Opposing
No, it's not.
personalities and opposing worldviews, they only got one thing in common. They like to roughhouse. At this point, they're not in it to kill it, just in it to show who's boss. Their ongoing
Pretty much
back and
civil and
forths are
brotherly, you know?
undeniably one of the best parts of the Devil May Cry series, coupled with all the ways we see them roughhouse. For this list, one duel
Deadly.
in particular comes to mind. Mission 13 for Devil May Cry 3,
Chaos
we
is
find
World
ourselves
War
in this sacrificial chamber. Of course, our favorite sparring partner is already there, aiming to open the door to the demon world. Once again, it's time for a little sibling quality time. Usually there's scrapes involve the bros duking out with blades across, but here, the gloves are coming on?
That's so hilarious.
A few missions back, we found a demonic gatekeeper named Beowulf.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, we get away from him, and then Virgil finds
Yeah,
him.
basically he ran
For him,
into this.
Virgil uses the fallen beast's soul to fashion himself a fancy pair of gloves and greaves. Not only are they metal as hell, they're pretty dang tough, and Virgil decides to share them with his dear brother by trying to punch his lights out. He pelts us with a flurry of punches and sends himself into the air before dropping a heavy axe kick on you. Occasionally, he breaks out the blade as usual for some fancy swordplay. Unfortunately, our routine brotherly dispute has to be cut short by the plot. Dang it, story progression!
Not now.
I love these two.
Oh,
I
lady, sorry.
really do. The fight itself is cool and
Not now, lady.
intense. Virgil alternating between fisticuffs and swordplay means we gotta keep on our tones with our own combat.
Yeah, you better figure out what's
However,
going on
I
there.
can't put this scrap any higher, mostly because it isn't fully a brawl with Virgil still using his sword half the time. That, plus the fight isn't difficult after a while. His combos do hurt. Oh, how they hurt. But
Like that.
they mostly just go in one direction, so they're easy to dodge once you got the pattern recognition down. But we still get another fun showdown between two of the best rivals in gaming. Plus, it's cool seeing Virgil being more versatile in a fight.
Yeah, true. He always does do that sword. So, him seeing just using Beowulf as a fighter, it's kind of nice. Honestly, Odiwan Lee, I actually do remember that one. I mean, you guys remember, I played Live Alive, so that was a fun time. Anyway, so 3 down, 7 to go. Who's next? 7 up.
Okay, fine. We can have one fighting game boss on here. But
What do you got?
holy moly, there are so many to choose from. Ryu versus Akuma, Terry versus Geese, Akira versus... I actually don't know who the main villain of Virtua Fighter is. Probably should
Yeah,
fix
I don't know. Dural? Yeah, I don't even know how.
My choice is easily the final battle of Tekken 8, which did come out recently, so there will be spoilers here. You have been warned. Anyways, it's Jeane versus Kazuya. After 30 years of the Mishimas punching each other and dropping each other into volcanoes,
Bye.
we finally had the final battle between father and son. Let me set the stage.
Good.
Kazuya was successful in killing Heihachi and taking over the Mishima Zaibatsu. He then set
Rest in peace.
World on fire again.
Pretty
to
much.
obtain total control and to complete his sneaker collection. Yes, that last part is also true. Look at his arcade ending.
This is
that even-
raw. This is suck.
Now it's
Oh
up
my
to
God,
Jin and
jeez.
friends
Okay,
to
is
set
that even-
aside their differences,
Are the
band together,
arcade
and
endings
stop
even
Kazuya from
canon?
getting the last limited edition Puma cleats from Messi. Also, to stop him
Again,
from
why?
absorbing the original Devil Azazel
Azazel?
and taking over the world. Of course, that's important too. In Tekken 8's finale, Jin finally comes to terms with his devil form and stops Kazuya from killing Xiaoyu and Lars. This sets
Oh,
up
yeah,
the
he
battle
was losing
between
control
Devil
at the time, I
Jin
think.
and true demon Kazuya. Despite Jin's best efforts, he isn't doing so well. Hearing advice from his deceased mother, Jin realizes his bloodline could purify evil and takes the form
Nice.
of an angel.
Angel.
Angel Jeane and Devil Kazuya duke it out
Gotta
on a
admit, the
falling
angel's form
meteor
looks
in
cool.
space, fighting
Thank you.
evenly matched. Eventually, the clash of powers causes Jin's angel form to purify the Devil Jeane out of both of them, and the two fall towards Earth. The two recover in the middle of a typhoon with both of their devils gone. With that, and just father and son left, they do one last fight to decide their fates. Kazuya fights with all of the skills and strategies he's learned over the years. Jin, accepting his lineage, fights with both the Mishima and Kazuma styles to overcome his father. It's an insane fight that finally puts to rest the 30-year rivalry that we have seen between this family. The fight could end in either Kazuya or Jin's defeat. You hope to win as Jin and defeat Kazuya, but diehard fans know what Kazuya's gone through. It's emotional, action-packed, and shows two brawlers going head-to-head. What more can you want?
You got me, but... that, anyway, number 6.
Well, it's the year of the dragon.
Hi, Sparrow.
Anyone feel like a dragon today?
Ooh, Yakuza.
Get it? Yeah, I'm disappointed too. We've
You
talked
said it
about
on me.
Kiryu and his fight in Yakuza 7 a couple of times by now, and honestly, it's not going away anytime soon. You spend 7-ish games playing with the same pro tag, and when you move on to a new pro tag, you gotta fight him in a no-holds-barred match?
Sweet.
Primo!
That's
At this point in Like a Dragon, Ichiban is not in a good mood. His mentor was killed after finally reconciling, and it was his mentor's son who ordered the hit. Our guy is trying to balance grieving for his mother and trying to stop his killer from gaining power. Just as Ichiban was about to kill someone out of frustration, he was stopped by Kiryu. Kiryu taunts Ichiban for his actions, but he don't want to hear it. At least until Kiryu said he had info relating to the guy Ichi was looking for. And she confronts him that night looking for said info, but Dragon ain't giving it away for free. Kiryu might not be much of a Dragon Quest fan as Ichi is, but he's played enough games to know what a Dragon Guardian is. He's the boss in Ichi's way, and he's not giving up without a fight. Kiryu will fight you with the 4 styles he's developed over the series. Balanced Brawler style, the fast-paced Rush style, the wide-hitting Beast style, and his signature Dragon of Dojima style. As you knock out his HP, he'll switch between the different styles, changing his stats and healing any status effects he's been inflicted. Each style uses different moves that he's used throughout the series. Your best bet is to bring blunt resistance and probably have a female or two on your team as he won't attack them. It's a tough fight, but it's Kiryu. What did you expect? After the fight, Kiryu provoked Ichi to calm him down. Counterintuitive, but okay. He has been in the same position as Ichi a dozen times, so he acts as a barrier for Ichi to take out his anger. It's a passing of the torch moment, leading to a developing friendship between the two that's expanded upon in Infinite Wealth, which we will probably talk about one day.
Maybe so. I'll have to see if I can get that working.
I talk about Asura's Wrath a lot on this channel. Kind of surprising I never touched on the deuteragonist. Let's fix that. Yasha is a demigod and a member of the 7 deities led by Deus. He's also Asura's brother-in-law, so there's a bit of a familial bond in their duties. Well, that is until Deus decided to ruin everything, killed his sister, and kidnapped his niece to power some Goma-killing machine. Yasha's put in an awkward position where he has to shut off his emotion and believe that Deus's plans are for the greater good. This inevitably puts him at odds against Asura, who's understandably appreciative of Yasha's Kamis attitude. You get introduced to Yasha's fighting style, being a speedy acrobat with karate chops and jump kicks akin to slicing with a sword. Though, admittedly, Asura is still the star of the show here, considering he stood up to Yasha with no arms. He can still land a good headbutt or two. Afterwards, you don't really get to fight Yasha again for a while, because he goes on his own mission of self-realization. Soon enough, he comes to terms that Deus' mission might have been a bad idea.
You think?
He can be taught.
He reconciles with Asura after defeating his berserk form, and they both team up once again to give Deus and Fleet Trigoma a good smackdown. But it didn't end there because of course it doesn't. Chakravartin defeats Asura, and Yasha is forced to help him retreat. This is where Yasha's redemption comes full circle. He continues to protect Asura from the remaining Goma until he's able to transfer to him his own mantra core. Ultimately, he sacrificed all he had left so Asura could keep fighting. Finally, Asura wakes up and Yasha tests him with one final duel. His attacks are much more versatile now, with a good mix of dashing, teleportation, and beam cutters coming out of his karate chops. Adding more to the cinematic value, the fight is interjected with a flashback. And surprise, surprise, it's also a boss fight. Asura and Yasha reminisce about trading blows while falling from the sky, all the while reminding themselves of the mutual bond that keeps them fighting. Back to present, Yasha is finally on his last legs. He channels all of his remaining mantra to extend his array of beam cutters, spin kicks, and a whirlwind punch. A good one this time, so you don't have a window to fall off and instantly die here. Eat your heart out, Jasper. Finally, the two trade one final flurry of kicks and punches until all there is left is the finishing blow. We waited for the final trigger to come, but then it stopped. Asura finds out what Yasha did, returns the favor with one last fist bump. The final fight against Yasha is an incredible mix of drama and spectacle. Yasha proved himself a brawler on par with Asura throughout the game, and he ends his legacy with not only a battle that keeps Asura on his toes, but a reminder that from now on, you'll always be on his side. Though I will admit, as awesome as he is, making him squeal mid-sentence never fails to make me laugh.
Decide what.
Just nice. That's it. Now.
No More Heroes has you fight your way through each member of the United Assassins Association. Each one crazier than the last.
Sounds
this
about
perfectly
right.
sets the stage for the #1 fight.
Dark Star. Welcome to my castle.
Upon meeting Dark Star, you find out that he's the seemingly murdered father of Travis, who looks absolutely nothing like him. Then Jeane, your long-lost ex-girlfriend, only mentioned in the manual, kills him.
What a twist.
Yeah, it turns out she killed your parents and was your half-sister the whole time. Ew.
What a twist.
What?
That and some other stuff, which I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to talk about without
No,
getting
no,
demonetized.
no.
You know that manga called Miyuki? The Japanese one? Well, it's like that.
All things considered,
don't, yeah.
this is one of the less insane plots in a Suda 51 game. Despite not having
I don't
a
know.
weapon or any crazy powers, Jeane is still an incredibly formidable opponent.
Yeah,
She's
basically-
super fast and can easily dodge most of your attacks. The most reliable way
dodge.
to damage her is with charge attacks, but those require a ton of your katana's battery life.
Editor here, just wanted to add that there's another way to consistently deal damage to Jeane. After she completes an attack, she'll be vulnerable for approximately 1 second. So if you're quick enough, you can get at least 1 or 2 hits in, or a full combo if you know which attacks have the longest cooldown. However, this strategy requires a lot of precision, quick reaction timing, and above all, patience. And if you feel as though you're not confident enough to handle any of that, then going for big damage like Josh said would be a preferable alternative. Also, don't fall for the stagger animation, it is a massive lie. Anyway, back to the video.
As the
Thank
fight
you.
goes on, Jeane will actually use Dark Star's Horse Saber to shrink the
Dragon
arena,
Saber.
making her that much harder to dodge. The fight seemingly ends with Travis's defeat, only for Shinobu to swoop in and save you at the last minute. Oh, and if you didn't fulfill the requirements for the true ending, she's actually the final boss.
Why would you bring up something like that at the very last minute?
Pretty much. Yeah, that does sound about right. I don't even know what the true ending is, but woof. Man, with No More Heroes with the brawl end, nice. But still, being a half sister, yikes. Does sound like a Shyamalan twist. Anyway, final 3. Let's see who's ranking them on top. Let's go. First up. Oh, hi, Sandman. Da-da. There's Sandman.
Yep. Can't do a list about brawlers who don't have a boss from the game where all you do is punch people. Punch-Out has a cavalcade of boxers with their own unique designs, personalities, and fighting style. It's amplified further in Punch-Out Wii, where the personalities are more in your face and Donkey Kong is here for some reason.
Yeah.
Frankly, not all of these fighters fight fair, and those who do don't stand out as
Well,
well as the
bye-bye.
others. And then there's
Sandman.
Mr. Sandman.
Boom, boom,
Mr.
Good night.
Sandman has appeared in every console Punch-Out title up to this point, alongside Ball Bull and Super Macho Man. Huh, does that make them the Triforce of the series?
Pretty much.
Super Macho Man is usually
In a
the
way,
one
yeah.
ranked highest of the 3. Although with how gimmicky and exploitable he is, it's harder to take him seriously than it is to beat him. So, makes sense Punch-Out Wii would return to its roots of the arcade and Japanese versions by featuring Sandman as the world champion and final boss. As his name implies, Mr. Sandman is
Yeah.
hell-bent on putting you to sleep.
Beta.
His punches are fast and painful. And it's even more panic-inducing if you're not prepared to predict his fake-outs. He's the only fighter who always blocks his head when you stun him, so you have to be prepared to alternate between high and low jabs to sufficiently damage him. And then there's the Dreamland Express, 3 furious uppercuts nigh guaranteed to instant KO you. This attack alone makes Sandman a worthy champion. No tricks or gimmicks behind it. Just Sandman scarring the crap out of you with his deadly punches. And that's not even the
Oh, yeah, the
highlights. In title defense, Sandman brings a whole new style of boxing.
Yeah, you really gotta be
The
fast.
Tyson Wink. In a split second, He will throw lightning-fast
See?
punches that you can only dodge by following the direction of his wings.
See?
And it all comes together in the final knockout round. He goes on an absolute rampage with those wing punches until you tire him out and finish him off with a good slug to the jaw. While Bald Bull and Macho Man rely on gimmicks to stay afloat, Sandman stands firm with sheer strength, agility, and wit alone. This is a
you really gotta be
challenging
fast
and
with that
rewarding
move.
fight if you can find the hidden counters and
Boom.
knock him out in record time. It's a major risk to take, but if it means you get to surpass this behemoth of a man, boy, is it worth it.
And the fact that he punched out a building in like the title's credits. Wow.
Oh,
MadWorld.
A bizarre little art project that teeters the lines between
You know this one.
hilariously over the top and gruesomely violent, all with a comic book
Oh,
like
that-
aesthetic.
yeah.
How over
Sorry
the
to
top
sing.
can it be? Just look at the final boss, the Black Baron. All the charm of a stereotypical pimp with bling to match. He acts as the MC for Death Watch, introducing and demonstrating the bloodbath challenges throughout the tournament. He also turns out to be the current champion.
Yep.
I can't say I'm surprised, considering he's basically immortal. Seriously, every time he introduces a challenge, he gets injured or mauled. But
I
the
pre-recorded
next
it.
challenge, he's like,
Got better.
so,
Yeah, I got that
in a
done.
way, him being king of the hill doesn't seem that shocking. What is shocking is how he backs his royal status up. Aw, you brought a chainsaw to the fight. That's adorable. Baron don't need no chainsaw.
Yep,
Look at his
he gonna
fists,
punch your
his
lights
feet,
out.
and his lady acquaintances. He's a hard-hitting close combat master. In his first phase, he's more suave and laid back, as demonstrated with his first boss theme.
I just kept hearing your name too much, and that's it. Now I just came to touch your backbone with a boot. I came to the tooth. It don't take much now, ain't that the truth? My boo got a thing for you. She really likes money, but the pain would do. He can't hang you a featherweight. I can't believe that you made it this far. It'll never take a lot of work to make it levitate. I strike first, don't hesitate to populate the murder rate. You just sealed your fate on the holidays. That'll be one less play.
If you make it past the first power struggle, Baron ain't playing around no more.
Yep.
Music kicks up and his smooth swagger is replaced with seething rage. He
Yeah,
starts
20
fighting with a much stronger kick and uppercut that can send you flying out of the ring. Oh, if you get knocked out of the ring, his lady friends will start beating you to a bloody pulp. Even a black
pretty much a
hole that
lump-
can insta-kill you.
Ooh.
If by some miracle you survive that, you just gotta trade
lump-
blows with him in one last power struggle. Make it through in one piece and, well, let's just say Jack gets to practice his backswing.
Home run!
All right. We call it a draw.
How could I
Yeah,
not?
pretty much
get
a
this
home
on this?
run.
Black Baron's brawl is insane. He puts his whole body into his fighting style, and the way the music in each phase
Basically the
reflects his
wrestler here.
movements- perfect. It's a legitimate death match, but it feels so
Man.
satisfying to topple the king. Especially since it's implied that he's not really black, just sporting blackface. That's
Is
true.
he?
He deserves way worse than a SmackDown.
So, is this guy really a Baron?
No, as a matter of fact, he's not even black.
Really? He looks like a black guy.
Why does that matter? Why do you have to bring race into it?
I didn't. I just asked if the guy was a
Wait,
real
is that-
Baron.
Greg Addis? I think I remember that guy from, who's the line?
Kuma, Street Fighter. Being able to unlock him was hard enough. Actually, beating him is the real challenge. Crow, Def Jam, Fight for New York. The time-honored tradition of street
Dog,
fighting games.
baby.
Someone pulling out a gun and failing. Senator Armstrong, Metal Gear Rising. He is hard at first, but if you've been paying attention, it's only a matter of timing. The Sam version could go f*** itself, though. The Master, Paper Mario. Out of anyone, it's a Toad that ends up having stats to rival Bowser. He even goes Super Saiyan for the final fight. Yang,
Super Saiyan
Sifu.
3.
If your opening gambit for this game was to use focus skills, prepare to be humbled. Chai, Shenmue. You don't get a lot of time to master the combat, but then you remember, oh wait, grabs and throws are broken. Maylene, Pokemon Gen 4. Came here expecting a
count?
standard fighting gem only to be blindsided by a frickin' Lucario.
No kidding, that is a surprise. Number 1.
When it comes to big climactic showdowns, none can do them quite like the Metal Gear franchise.
Oh?
Every game has some huge
who's the
final
brawler
fight
here?
that's topped by the game after it. At least it was until Metal Gear Solid
Liquid
4.
Sync.
Now, explaining the dense lore behind Metal Gear Solid 4's final fight will take forever.
Do I wanna know?
I'd have to go over Big Boss, The Boss, Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, Solidus Snake, Norded Snake, Old Snake, Naked Snake, Ocelot, Revolver Ocelot, Liquid Ocelot, The Patriots. Imagine how they're all connected and how it leads up to the final fight between Old Snake and Liquid Ocelot. Also,
Yeah.
I made one of those up. I wonder if you noticed. All you really need
I don't
to
even
know
know
is
at this
that
point.
Snake and Ocelot want to take down the Patriots, and they are both fighting to settle the legacy of Big Boss and their individual ideologies before they ultimately die in the near future. And this leads to the only fight between two old men that isn't super lame. After Liquid gives some more exposition, the two duke it out in a cutscene for a bit, trying to steal Liquid's stimulants to get back their energy. When the two finally put their last stimulants in each other, the fight begins.
Here we go.
Similar to Kiryu's fight, this is in 4 stages, each representing a different clash and version of the two fighters from their shared history. Going from Solid Snake versus Liquid Snake from Metal Gear Solid 1 to Solid Snake versus Revolver Ocelot from Metal Gear Solid 2, even though they never actually fought in the game, to Naked Snake versus Ocelot from Metal Gear Solid 3, and finally ending with our final fight between Old Snake and Liquid Ocelot. A major theme from each game plays during their phase, including the wonderful Snake Eater.
Okay, what? Did he just kiss us?
Ocelot will change his fighting style depending on the game too. This all leads to the Metal Gear Solid 4 phase where Snake and Ocelot will punch each other one at a time until the last person falls, which is Ocelot in this case. Snake comes up triumphant as he defeats his brother Psyche and his father's rival's body. Don't ask, it'll take too long. Snake vs. Ocelot is just a really good final boss fight. While there are flashier fights on the list, shouldn't be understated how much this fight meant to people and how it influenced gaming as a whole. I'm Josh Scorcher, and next time the bosses may be a little transparent, or maybe they were never there to begin with.
So, Ghost Boss? So, would that be invisible bosses or just ghost bosses? I'm kind of curious now. Well, anyway, that's it for the Brawlers. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with Liquid Ocelot? Till next time, let's subscribe for more. Adios.